The Lunaverse by Rainbow Double Dash. Episode 13, Carrot Top Season. By Grass and Clouds 2. Chapter 6, Carrot Top and Granny Smith. By day 6, everything seemed to be going great for Carrot Top. She was reliably producing dishes which highlighted her carrots and which wowed the taste testers. Berry Punch seemed very pleased with Carrot Top's improvement. "These are getting very close to restaurant quality," Berry Punch said. "You're doing great." "Well, I had a good pizza," said Carrot Top. Berry Punch had giggled and ordered her to get back to the soup, because it was about to burn. There were enough farmhands and enough other volunteers now to take care of everything that Carrot Top was afraid she had to neglect in order to focus on the competition. Apparently, a couple more of the outgoing ponies had even taken her carrots to the markets to sell, where, for the first time in Carrot Top's memory, Golden Harvest Farms outsold 3 apple acres. According to the ponies from the market, Big Macintosh had been standing there forlornly for hours, with barely any customers. Meanwhile, Golden Harvest Farm carrots sold by the bushel. The mention of Big Macintosh helped Carrot to remember to talk to Berry Punch about the boycott. "I'm glad you're all on my side, but I'm really not comfortable trying to ruin the business. Could we ease up on the boycott?" Berry Punch had been reluctant. "It's my restaurant Applejack threatened to hurt. I just can't let that go. Besides, you know they wouldn't step in if some ponies were boycotting you." "I thought you said that I shouldn't be like Applejack." Cut by her own words, Berry Punch had paused and then chuckled. "Point. Okay, I'll talk to the others, but I'm not sure we can stop it now. This has been building up for a really long time. And now that the town's finally learning to live without the apples, I don't think the other farmers are going to want it to stop." "I understand. I'm just worried that Applejack would collapse from exhaustion or something. I'm not a fan of the trust or 3 apple acres, but none of us actually want Applejack to have a psychotic breakdown." Berry Punch smiled. "Well, I'll see what I can do." The other elements were also getting involved. Lyra and Bonbon helped Carrot Top refine her desserts. Berry Punch's own weak point. "Bars don't really do fancy desserts," she explained. Raindrops had called in a few favors and obtained a few extra rain clouds for Carrot Top's fields to make sure that her carrots would have enough water to grow their best for the competition. Shirley gave Carrot Top a quick lesson on the science behind what she was cooking, apparently because the judges would expect her to know that, and neither the carrot farmer nor Berry Punch knew exactly once and why. For example, frying a carrot made it sweeter. Dinky, under Dixie's watchful eyes, had become the head taste tester, a job which she was apparently finding quite enjoyable. And Trixie, well, she wasn't much help in the kitchen or on the farm, but she was funny and lightened the mood, and Carrot Top appreciated that. With all the stress from the competition and having staked her farm on it, she was somewhat surprised she hadn't exploded yet, and any excuse to de-stress was a good one. By mid-afternoon, Berry Punch and Carrot Top had begun to finalize the menu. Berry Punch had Carrot Top do a practice run when she tried to cook all 6 dishes under the competition time constraints. Carrot Top managed, barely, but burned one of them, and heated the kitchen up to an unbearable temperature. 15-minute break while I close down." "That sounds good," said smiling Berry Punch. "I'm going to the living room and mix up something to drink." Carrot Top stepped outside and saw a flag on her mailbox was up. "Oh, probably just junk, but it could be important." So Carrot Top trotted over and looked at the mailbox. There was just one advertisement from a realtor. "Dear Ma'am, we heard you may be looking to sell your property soon, and—" Carrot Top growled and stomped on it. She didn't need this. "Carrot Top! Carrot Top!" The Carrot Top farmer glanced over and saw that Apple Bloom was racing towards her. "What is it?" "Something's hyping the 3 apple acres, and Applejack says he will sort the farmers in the ball count." Apple Bloom stumbled to a halt, but picked herself right back up. "You said you were going to talk to him." "What?" "No farmer would touch Applejack's farm." If it was true, if for no other reason than the trust would sue them until they had nothing left. "What happened?" "Some kind of weed. And Applejack says it's ruined all the apples." "What?" Carrot Top shook her head. "What's dust? I'm sure of it." "Well, then how? And who?" "Well, I tell you, Applejack says the farm's apples are all ruined. Yeah, we can't complain. We got nothing to sell but the ones in stores. And those won't last 2 days. And—" "Apple Bloom," Carrot Top said, thinking quickly. This was some kind of attack. It was possible the other farms could be next. Or, if it was really just targeted at the apples, she had to try and fix it and find out who done it. For no other reason than she was liable to take the blame for it. "What do the weeds look like?" "Well, these small blue and red flowers with 4 big petals. They're growing on everything." "That sounds like—" "Oh no. Those 2 unicorns. They have that plant! Bobslayer!" "I think I might know what that is. Wait here. I'm going to try to get a plant book." "You're what?" called Apple Bloom, but Carrot Top had already raced inside. Carrot Top told Berry Punch she had an emergency errand. Then she grabbed the old book of arrows she inherited from her grandparents and ran back outside. "Let's go to Sweet Applejack," she said. "What are you going to do?" "First, I'm going to see if it is what I think it is. If it is, I might be able to fix it." Apple Bloom stared. "Really? We won't lose all the apples?" "Maybe. Come on!" As they ran, Carrot Top began to think. On the other hand, I could just say I don't know what's going on. I didn't cause this problem. It's not my fault, and Applejack would do the same to me. No, she was the element of generosity, and there's generous, then there's this. She's your enemy. She wants to ruin you. Now, by happy coincidence, she's been laid out by some other force. Just let it happen. Let her see what it's like to have a dune farm and no pony around to help you." But Carrot Top wanted to win fairly, and what would all those ponies who given up their time and energy for the past week say if they knew you were helping the apples? Wouldn't they feel like you were squandering their help? You still have so much to learn. You should go back home and get back to it. Applejack will still be here when you get back from competing. "There! There it is!" cried out Apple Bloom. Carrot Top slowed as he crested a hill. Her eyes widened. She had never seen such a bad infestation. By Luna! The farm slayer flowers were growing over everything. Every inch of grass, every tree, even the fence posts. It was almost like a solid blue and red carpet through the fields. With that level of infestation, it was likely that every single apple in Applejack's orchard had been leached of flavor. "Can you fix it? Can you?" begged Apple Bloom. Carrot Top hesitated. "You could just say no. No pony would expect you to even know this. Farm stayers from so far south that it's not even an equestrian plant. Did Apple Bloom ever care you were struggling? No, she hadn't. But that wasn't her fault. It was Applejack's. And it was Applejack that would let another farm go under, not Carrot Top. "What about the others? Your helpers?" Carrot Top hissed, annoyed at herself for thinking such thoughts. The others would understand. She held all of them. That was why they were helping her. So she knew that wasn't in her to stand aside and when another pony needed help. Even if it was Applejack. She didn't like the apple farmer. She thought she might even hate her sometimes. But she didn't want Sweet Apple Acres to go down in flames. Just like that, she was decided. "I know how to fix this," said the Carrot Top farmer. She opened her book and turned to a page near the end. "I need you to gather these 15 ingredients. 10 for a person and 5 for a smile?" Apple Bloom blinked at the old Ryan. "Huh? The original article calls for 11 ingredients, one of which is a smile. I don't know how to get a smile to be put in the pot, but the book says we can substitute these other 5 ingredients. Lollipops, fur from a puppy dog, beagle dust. I guess there are things that make ponies smile. Anyway, this book is usually really accurate. Can you get these ingredients? I'll start setting up an area to mix up the antidote." Apple Bloom nodded. "I'll get round to town. If any of the shopkeepers said they won't sell you, just tell them I personally asked you to go, okay? They should do it." Apple Bloom nodded, tried off. Carrot Top growled toward the orchards. As he approached, she began to hear him yelling, "I told you, I don't know what the hell these are, and I don't know how to fix it. Why, you have some bright ideas, Mac? Got something you ain't sharing? No? Then let me think!" She kicked something. "As I recall, you're the one who told me to call me and get a few hours sleep. If I hadn't listened to you, we will be in this mess." She drew in several deep breaths. "So it's my fault. Fine. But I'll learn from my mistakes. I ain't sleeping no more until this whole thing's done. And from now on until the competition, once we fix this, if we can, somebody guards the fields at all times, got it? I don't care if we gotta rent some off-duty guards from Caroline. The orchards need to protected." "Crawl," began Big Macintosh. "Easy there," added Green. "Now since to get it all worked out, that won't sign nothing." "Worked up? Calm? The hell's spoiled? I ever thought I would. The tastes like nothing. Look at cardboard." Applejack kicked what sounded like a bucket. Carrot Top saw him going sailing above the tree tops. "Oh crap, Dad! I ain't gonna be calm." "Sleep," urged the stallion. "How can I sleep now, sitting inside that sleeping caused this problem in the first place? I gotta get this fixed. If it don't get fair and pronto, the farm's done, so there ain't no time for sleep. Not for any of this. Not until we know what the hell went wrong and how to set it right. Hey!" Carrot Top yelled as he approached the artist. "AJ, I need to talk to you." The apple farmer turned. Carrot Top blinked. Applejack looked terrible, half dead on her feet. Yet she was still standing, and finding the air she screamed, You did this, didn't ya? You ruined my fields!" She began charging at Carrot Top, only to be stopped when Big Mac bit on her tail. "Let it go!" Otherwise it owes the tail. "I didn't do this," snapped Carrot Top. "I came because I know how to fix this. I know what this plant is." "Arr! If it wasn't you, then it was one of the traitors on your team! If I wanted you to fail, Applejack, I could just walk away. I'm here to help. Carrot Top haunts the fence. What's the nearest oven of fire? I'll vessel a batch of the antidote. Applejack opened up her mouth, but Granny Smith spoke first. Well, thank you kindly, Carrot. Nice to see a young and being so helpful these days. Applejack was not so agreeable. Yeah, honestly, don't think he's gonna help us in, she began. Applejack! Granny Smith glared at the orange fellow. This young man is coming in to do you a favor. Said thank you and listen to her. Instructed Granny Smith. Her tone broke no complaint. But, new bunch, Lucy! Applejack scowled and fell silent. Guessing a thank you wasn't forthcoming. Carrot Top coughed. Heatless? Now, we add the spiceweed and dried chili, said Carrot Top, dropping portions of those ingredients in the pot. Then we add this other thing, the artificial smile. The herbal mixture smelled fragrant and restorative. One could tell it was a medicine with a whiff. The artificial smile, though, just looked weird. I don't think it'll work, said Applejack, and I still don't trust you. You've got every reason to want Uncle Crystal to fail, Carrot Top. But why is King with you? Asked Apple Bloom. I wrote the Trust headquarters of Caroline. They'll give us a cure for this stuff the next train after they get there. Meantime, I'd like to see if any of them apples ain't sick, so we can get back to training. Carrot Top ignored Applejack. If she wanted to wait for hours for a cure, fine. She had work to do. So now, for the artificial smile. I don't think so, asked Granny Smith, as she'd been sewing up for the last 15 minutes. What's artificial now? The smile, repeated Carrot Top. What? We apple sewing use no artificial ingredients, said the old mare. Well, I don't know how to put a real smile into the pot. Big Macintosh was watching silently, his gaze completely inscrutable. Applejack was also silent, but she looked terrified. Carrot Top could sympathize. She knew what it was like to think that one's farm and home were about to be lost forever. Granny Smith, though, just chuckled. A real smile? Let's eat it. Why don't you say so? Granny Smith went over to an old cabinet and began taking out a few jars. Just give Granny Smith a moment or two, and she'll get you a smile. Carrot Top looked at Applejack, who was just as puzzled as the farmer felt. It's not an of Granny Smith. It's an actual... I know what a smile is. You what? You think I was born yesterday? Granny Smith soaked a cloth in water and began pouring a few different powders into it. My mother taught me this when I was a little girl. Like land, we didn't have all these fancy antidotes and hospitals and sets. We had to make do with folk medicine. The kids in my went to near everything recipe. I learned to do this in my sleep. What? Carrot Top was mystified. Antidotes weren't that new. What was Granny Smith talking about? Now, let's say, Apple Bloom, well, get over here and give your granny a big smile. Apple Bloom tried. Fortunately, the chorus around upright. Oh, please. Now, gotta be real. Now, let's see. Carrot Top something. Apple Bloom, what's your favorite dessert? Apple cobbler, said Granny Smith. Ain't getting enough of it. Apple Bloom blessed. All right, Apple Bloom. Shut your eyes. I want you to imagine you're about to dive into a big tub of apple cobbler. Visualize it heavily. Think of that warm golden crust, that gooey apple feeling, and that cool vanilla ice cream. Apple Bloom smiled broadly at the thought. Granny Smith quickly wrapped the cloth around Apple Bloom's mouth. It flashed, and then seemed to turn to a bright, cherry yellow color. At the same time, Apple Bloom smiled and vanished as her mouth relaxed. Yeah? Apple Bloom opened her eyes as the old mare removed her cloth. My mouth went numb for a second. Granny Smith tapped the cloth over the boiling pot until the yellow began to flow out into the herbal mix. There, that's your smile, she said. Okay then. Carrot Top began to stir. Now, stir for 5 minutes, then we add the files. Paint it on, said Carrot Top, like this. With a rush, she began pouring the herbal broth onto an apple. There, she said. Try it. She offered it to Apple Bloom. Applejack seized it. I'll try it, she said. She bit into it and chewed fiercely. Then she paused. Finally, she said, all right, Big Mike, Apple Bloom, you gotta help me get all them apples painted. It worked! Hooray! Apple Bloom hugged Granny Smith, then Carrot Top. My mom's okay. Now time to celebrate, eh, boy? We gotta fix these apples, said Applejack. Her eyes flickered back and forth between the other apples. Come on, Big Mike, no time to waste. She paused, and Carrot Top? Carrot Top paused. When Applejack realized he was wrong about Carrot Top now, about a farm being able to stand on its own after all this time, of course not. I appreciate the advice, but don't go thinking that we have died if you hadn't showed up. We will figure it out. The Apple Trust has survived every bug and blight until now. It saved us a little time, that's all. If Granny Smith had fixed y'all recipe, it would have still gone all wrong. Her eyes started around. Kara thought that Applejack sounded more like she was trying to convince herself than her. You want, I don't know, an armor or something? Fine. But we ain't gonna get the competition together granted for all this. Come on, y'all. We got apples to cure. She grabbed the pot, seemingly heedless of the fact that it was still very hot. It darted out. Big Magata sighed and began to fall. Apple left too, but said, "Thanks, Miss Carrot," before leaving. Carrot smiled a little. Apple, she could tell, was feeling a lot better, and it made Carrot Top feel better too. "Thank you." It was Granny Smith, who was looking at Carrot Top tenderly. "Don't miss it. You need a good thing." Granny Smith winked. "We'll find someone to make it up to you. Granny Smith knows a few tricks." "I don't need charity," Carrot Top sighed. "And I'll try to talk to the antitrust police later. See if I can get them to lay off." Granny Smith kissed Carrot Top on the cheek. "I know Applejack can be hard to handle, but I really appreciate you trying. She works so hard, but she don't have no friends, and she gets so lonely. She starts believing all these things." She shook her head. "I know, it's so silly after a while, but thank you for all you've done for us." It felt surreal that Carrot Top was being thanked for doing a favor to the Apple Juggernaut. But she inclined her head. "Just trying to be neighborly, I guess." "Nay, you're being more than that. You're being a good friend. And Applejack's all sorry now it does." At those words, Granny Smith left. Carrot Top began to walk the long hide home. It wasn't hard to track down Flim and Flam. They had been spending the afternoon wandering around downtown Ponyville and spending a lot of bits, and had rented the most expensive available room in town. It was like they wanted to be found. "I know what you did!" said Carrot Top as he bucked open their door. "Every part of it!" Flim, on the couch, looked startled, but Flam, laying on the floor, was unperturbed. "Oh, really? What's that?" "You salted Applejack's fields with saw and false-sayer." "Indeed we did," said Flam. He got to his hooves. "You can thank your blue friend for the inspiration." "Trixie, what's he do?" Flim shrugged. "She said you'd be ashamed to win this through our help. So we thought, all the more reason to help you. Applejack's your biggest competitor, and now her farm's doomed. She'll never clean it up. Might as well move on now," the two said to you and said, "We'll tell everybody we did it on your orders unless you sign a deal with the Duke." "So you're blackmailing me for something I didn't do?" "But nobody will believe you if you didn't do it," said Flam. "Your hatred of the apples is quite well known, as is the fact you wagered your farm on this competition, my good mayor. Not to mention, everybody in town's counting on you to win. Such an incredible pleasure," said Flam. "No wonder you resorted to dirty methods. I hired 2 unicorns to destroy Applejack's fields, thereby ensuring that you could beat her in the farm competition and save your farm. And everybody in town feel like they waste their time helping you." Carrot Top growled. "So you tell everybody this, unless I agree to work for Greengrass?" "Precisely, and there won't be any use in denying it," said Flam, smiling wickedly. "When Applejack's fields ruined, who would believe you weren't involved?" said Flam. Carrot Top smiled. "Good thing I decided to fix the problem. I told Applejack how to get the flavor back out of false there, and into our apples." Carrot Top said in a placid tone. The two stared. "What?" He started musing. "I told them how to fix it. Read most of it in the book. Granny Smith knew the rest." Carrot Top shrugged. "They'll be fine." "But we handed you a golden opportunity," said Flam. Flim added, "to not only win, but to drive out the trust. How could you waste it?" they both asked. "I don't cheat," Carrot Top noted her eyes. "So you didn't kill their farms, and you have nothing to blackmail me with. If you try to tell the other ponies that I told you to plant it in the first place, I'll just point out that I saved the farm and wouldn't have done that if I wanted you to wreck it. So, get out of town, okay? I'm done with you." Flam scowled. "We'll be back," he warned. "We won't give up." "Fine. Show up in town again, and I'll have Trixie report you to the throne as criminals and saboteurs. The last mare that she did that to was a really powerful sorceress who is still not a lamb and won't ever be able to stop running without getting arrested. Somehow, I don't think you're quite at her level. You'll go to jail, and the trust will use their influence to make sure you never get out." The two brothers looked at each other. Flam said, "You don't scare us, you're just—" "Well, bye," said Flim, hastily grabbing his hat and running for the door. "Get back here!" Flam chased him out. Carrot Top smiled and left. Upon returning home, Carrot Top told Berry Puns everything. "So, if you hate me, I get it," said Carrot Top. "Hate you. Well, save me sweet apple acres." Berry Puns nodded Carrot Top. "I told you not to talk like that," she said in a stern tone. "Don't worry about how you're too generous. But, aren't you against them?" "I'm against Applejack's lunatic business practices, and her driving the other farms out. But I don't want them all homeless. No pony does. What you did was very generous." Berry Puns smiled. "Now, Keep stirring the stew. We don't want it to burn. Carrot Top smiled, feeling a little relief. So, what next? Well, run through your dishes again today. Tomorrow, you should kick them for your friends and help us. I should? Sure. They've been working very hard so you can perfect them. They ought to be able to taste the fruits, vegetables of that labor, right? Plus, it'll give you more practice cooking under competition rules. Carrot Top nodded. Sounds good.
Yet another brilliant plan, hissed Flim. How much money did we waste on those stupid flowers? It would have worked if Carrot Top wasn't such a sap. It was a great plan. Really? Because green grass gave us 500 more bits. We lost them all, and we're still no closer to actually getting her to sign on.
Flim scowled.
Just let me think, okay?
It was just past midnight. The two of them were at the edge of Sweet Apple Acres, debating how else they could take down the Trust team and get credit for Apple to Carrot Top to win. Flowers hadn't worked, and he didn't have enough money to get anything else that was exotic enough the Trust wouldn't know how to deal with. Flam had suggested just burn the orchards down, but though they tried with matches and torches, they hadn't been able to set anything on fire. The fields apparently had some kind of magical protection from flames. That left them back with square one.
Anything else?
Demanded Flam. After a few minutes had passed by, Flam nodded slowly.
Okay, we're right by the Everfree Forest. Just lure her into a monster or something, said Flam. It can wreck the place.
Flam was stunned.
Are you son? Don't forget, illegal. That would kill them. Monsters attack us down all the time, and no pony ever dies. In fact, didn't Ursa attack a short while ago?
Flam smiled.
Let's stick with that then. Get some honey and other sweet things. Now we're going to find an Ursa now. That forest is huge. The wind will blow the sand into the woods, so we'll just put a one-it-need spell on the honey. Everything in that forest that's good-smelling honey will be affected to come running. It's going to include the Ursas. Aren't those dangerous? Please. One-it-need is a second-year spell. How could such a simple magic trick possibly go wrong?
So they got the honey and other things that Ursas liked. They returned to the field, where they began looking for a suitable spot to trap.
Here we go, said Flame at last. With this wind, a strong stay here will carry right into the Everfree. We just have to cast a spell, and Ursas, and anything else that likes honey, will rampage through everything. I really don't know about... Look, let's just do it and go home, okay?
Flame frowned, hearing something crunch behind him. He turned, but couldn't make out any other ponies in the darkness.
Any pony there? He called. Will you keep it down?
Hissed Flam. He began spreading the honey. Flam gulped and continued. Any pony out there?
Applejack stepped out from behind a tree. Ah!
Flam turned. He stepped back in shock, but then paused.
You idiot! She's sleepwalking!
Indeed. Applejack had adopted a shambling pace as he approached. Flam raised hopes in front of her eyes, got no response.
She didn't see us, or she say something. Come on!
They moved a few trees down, and Flam knelt.
Just help me spread this, okay?
Flam screamed. Flam turned and saw that Applejack had somehow gotten behind him. Furthermore, her eyes weren't exactly sleepy. She was weirdly dead. She looked down at Flam with a completely blank expression.
Great. First she was a werewolf on this show. On these live reads.
And now she's a freaking zombie. Anything else you guys care to turn her into? Flam was lying on her side. Didn't seem to be conscious, and Flam could see the impressions of two hooves on his forehead. Flam gulped. Then he saw hooves coming outside him, and merciful blackness enveloped him.